Chiefs did right by Chris Jones, did right by the fans, did right by everybody in Chiefs Kingdom, and got my man Chris Jones here. And I've been meaning to send the one, when we talked about the tweet out, when the last show we did on Wednesday, when I was talking about there was three guys I wanted to see, have a press conference like Jason Kelce. Okay. One was Patrick Mahomes, another was Travis Kelce, and of course, Chris Jones. It was three guys. I said, those three guys, I want them walking out as Chiefs at the end of their career, not going back, signing the one day. I don't want none of that. We're talking about being here for a Chief for the rest of their time, the rest of their career. And it seems like they made that thing happen, man. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for getting these guys in here, getting Chris Jones signed, getting one of the best players in the NFL, one of the best in the NFL, okay? It's going to Canton. It's going to be a first Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And we got him here. We were talking about it. This is what we've been waiting on. So we got our man. We got our guy. 95, Sack Nation. Wonderful deal. Wonderful deal by the Chiefs, okay? Brett Veach, Clark Hunt, Andy Reid, all the people, Spags, everybody involved in this to make this thing happen. Hats off to each and every one of them. Congratulations. I seen where Chris Jones said something to Clark Hunt. And to me, that just shows me Clark Hunt was the one who's like, sign this man. He made sure signing. I don't care what we're talking about, sign Chris Jones. Clark Hunt probably made the phone call himself. Okay? So.
What did you think about the deal? Obviously, the way it broke down Saturday night, like a late night movie. I was about to pass out, and Tasia calls me, goes, "Yo, you see the news?" I'm like, "Wait, what? What's going on here?" And then I look at it, and it's just crazy. But we didn't know the numbers till yesterday. That's when the numbers came out. But obviously, 5 years, $158 million. Everyone's pretty much saying it's a 3-year, $95 million deal. It's $95 million guarantees. Highest paid defensive tackle in the league. Obviously, a lot of people were thinking, with that NFLPA thing that came out last week, Clark Hunt's definitely not going to pay Chris Jones. He's going to let him hit the open market. So glad that narrative might be done for a little while as far as our team, Clark Hunt being cheap. He's still some stuff to do with facility-wise, yeah, but hey, at least he's paying the players what they're worth. What did you think about the deal with Chris Jones, the 5 years, $158 million, and the guarantee aspect of it, making him the highest paid defensive tackle?
To me, he got everything that he wanted. I think not only did he get everything he wanted, I think the Chiefs got everything they wanted too. For the simple fact that if you got a guy that you string him in for 5 years, so $95 million, without a doubt, is phenomenal. To be able to get that in your pocket, knowing that $95 million is going to come to you, smackaroos. Obviously before the books and everything, but hey, man, that's an incredible deal. That's an incredible deal. So for me, man, I thought it was necessary. So I thought it was necessary. Why would you let a guy like this go of this caliber, that that not only is he one of the best D-line in the entire league, but he makes your entire defense better. He makes everybody around you better. He makes all the D-line, the linebackers, the secondary, he makes everybody's job easier and better. And so, not taking away from other guys and what they said, but we know he's a pivotal part for what the Chiefs do defensively. And it all starts with him. And so when he's not in there, you could see some of the impact of him not being in because of his presence. But the way that they got to structure the deal, the 5-year, 158, come on. What else do you say to that? Seriously. I don't think, because I think everybody was kind of, jumping up and down like, oh, what side are you on? Okay, did he get too much, or I won't go pay him this and all? I don't think he's worth it, or I don't think the Chiefs. Look, none of that matters. What matters is winning championships, okay? Money's going to go up each and every year, all right? It is. So when you get to about year 3, 4, or 5, you're going to realize, hey, man, this might be a good bargain deal for a guy of his caliber. What we've shown for the past 2 years, he has been absolutely dominant, okay? This is the past 3 years, There hasn't been anybody better in the past 3 years at the D tackle position. So let's just be honest here. I'm talking about that. But no, it was a great deal, man. I mean, getting to that. The $95 million though is the one that you perk your eyes up and like, oh, okay. 95 smackaroos. Good deal, man. That's a hell of a deal right there.
For me, it's like, there's been times in the Chiefs history, like, we didn't have like, top echelon guys, right? But we wanted to keep our guys in house, so we pay some guys to keep them. We pay them these astronomical, deals that some guys may not have been worth that, right? But Jones is unique in the fact that we know what we're getting. We know who he is, so it's like you're paying for what you get. When you have services on your house, and someone's doing the redoing your lawn and stuff. Like, you're paying for what you get. You might pay for the cheaper guy, but you're not going to get nearly the production you're going to get. That the guy you're paying the astronomical money to, and that's what Chris Jones is. I mean, like, he's worth every penny, and we know what we're getting from him. And that's the thing. And we're going to keep him in house. And that in this day and age, and the thing the other night I was talking about, in this day and age, it's so rare in sports where a guy will stay together with his team from the jump. And this offseason, we're seeing Chris Jones and Mike Evans as two guys who inked in with their team, and they're probably going to be there till they retire. And that's, in this day and age of sports, you don't see that in NBA, NFL, MLB. You don't see that at all. And we got 3 dudes between Chris Jones, Mahomes, and Kelsey, who could potentially be with this team from draft night to the end. And I think that's really special. And then Clark Hunt's, and I think Ginger Girl says it here, sends a strong message to the team that they are chasing that three-peat. 100%. Sends a strong message in many ways, but yes, that as well.
Yeah. So we, without a doubt, when I had 3 Super Bowl wins under this Andy Reid without Chris Jones, just wouldn't happen. And so he's a staple to what you do defensively, right? And we've seen guys come and go from different positions, okay? Whether it be in the secondary, like, Honey Badger, okay? We could talk, linebackers or D-line, okay? And so the thing is, the constant person that's been here, the consistent guy, has been Chris Jones. He has been the one that you had to build your defense around, okay? Because he can give you so much. You have so many possibilities with Chris Jones you can do. A guy that takes on double teams almost every single play, okay? And I made this point early to my boy Keys. We're just kind of talking. I'm catching up to, some of the conversation. But I was saying, it's not really, kind of a give and take comparison, but we're talking about Sneed and, what we're going to do with Sneed, how it's going to work out, if he's going to get, traded, whatever. Okay. And I was making a case that, look, we have guys that can fill in, okay, if Sneed's gone. Will they give us what Sneed has from what he gave last year? This remains to be seen, okay? Remains to be seen. But what we do know is that it's hard to mimic what Chris Jones does on the field from anybody in the NFL, okay? Not alone on our team. I'm just talking from anybody in the NFL. The only one that comes to my mind immediately off my head is Aaron Donald, right? We were sitting there talking about defensive tackles, Aaron Donald. And these other guys' names that come up, Williams and all. Hey, they're solid guys, okay? Take nothing from them because they're beasts up there, all right? Absolute monsters. But the way that Chris Jones can change the trajectory of a game, okay? We've seen it the past few years. I think there's only a few guys you could say that, and you can name probably on your hand that can do it on the defensive side of the ball. Really. TJ Watt is another guy we know because of what he does, what he brings to the table. I mean, it's like, okay, this dude he's a phenomenal guy. Okay. Yeah. Bosa, Nick, he does his thing when he comes in and he makes some plays that is like, okay, this is exciting, phenomenal, right?
Parsons,
yeah. And so, but some of these guys are limited on what you do. Like we say Parsons, right? Parsons, great pass rusher. But you run straight at him, you nullify everything he does in the passing game, right? I mean, you just see him. He just disappears in the game sometimes. And you wonder, like, wait a minute, hold on. How is this happening? Well, you game plan for this. Chris Jones routinely takes on double teams, sometimes triple teams, and he's still getting in. He's still getting pressure. He's still on the quarterback. And I'm talking about him being tackled, being grabbed. I mean, around the waist. I mean, it's like blatantly holding calls on him practically every single play. And they never call it. They never call it. Okay. But that's how dominant he is. I think, referees look at it like, well, shoot, he's a big guy. He can handle himself. He's killing this dude.
Yeah.
Right? Try to make it a little bit fair. I know Chris Jones, 95, whoever he is, what's his name? Chris Jones on the side killing him. Let's give him a chance. Yeah. Chris just eating at lunch all the time. So that's what I was saying. Like when you talk about the scope of what he actually brings to the table on this defense, you just can't replicate it. You can't on the D line. You just cannot, especially from that position, from defensive tackle. So, yeah, they are serious about a three-peat. They serious more about a three-peat. We're talking about 3, 4, 5. We're trying to get a guy like this for 5 years. These next 5 years, you still trying to get rings. You trying to. And I see everybody else is trying to jump on. Look, there was a lot of movement this past weekend. You know why? Because they're thinking about trying to get to the Super Bowl. You know who was the standard? The Kansas City Chiefs are. Okay? When you're sitting over here setting the barometer of what goes on in NFL, you got to say, okay, how do we get past our division? Okay? How do we get past our conference? And then the championship game, how do we get past the Chiefs? Okay? Because that's what we have to see. Like it or not, I don't care what anybody else says, for the past few years, the Chiefs have been dominant. Okay? 5 years, 4 Super Bowls, okay, 3 winners. Okay? That's what you see with the Chiefs. Yep. So we are the standard in the NFL. We are. So you better get who you can. I see Saquon go to Philly, Swift go to Detroit. Everybody's sitting over here, man. Everybody is gunning for the Chiefs. And if you don't think they're not, shoot, you watch how everything was rolling. I think I seen somebody was saying in the chat that Chris is going to be the most coveted free agent out there. You best believe it. I guarantee if that something hit hit the market, whoo, his phone would have been blowing up.
Well, that's why there was that report last week that the Raiders were interested in Chris Jones. Today, one of the first signings right when everything started today was them signing the D tackle from Miami, Christian Wilkins, and they paid him like $84 million in guarantee. So it tells you they were going to go for him if he was going to be available. They were going to throw him whatever they took. They got Christian Wilkins, not a bad consolation prize, but it's not Chris Jones.
No.
So
and as they should have. They should. Come on. If you want to win games, you're going to get the best. Why not try to get the best? So
getting the best and also subtracting one of the best from the team that everyone's trying to chase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike saying he would have been offered more than 95. I would guess. Yeah. No, for 100%.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. The winning's addictive. So if they do win this three-peat, they're going to come back and say, "Oh, we got to do 4. We got to do 4," and it's something that's never been done in like almost any sport. The 4-peat. I don't know. Actually, has 4-peat ever been done? That's never been done. Maybe. Celtics maybe back in the day with Bill Russell and them.
Yeah. That could have happened back then because they won a championship, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty much it, though. So I mean, yeah, we'll start with the 3-peat, that we can talk about 4-peat after that.
So my man So this is always a concern, right? I'm the Brown. My man, I see this. I always fear when a defensive person gets a big contract. So many of them start taking plays off because they know they got the payday. Okay, so I'll say this. We have seen this before. We have seen guys kind of slow down or whatever, kind of sit back on their laurels and like, oh, I made it. I'm good. I'm going to chill out. Okay. My thing is with Chris Jones, the Chiefs in a position to do something that has never been done in the NFL. Okay. And that's the 3-peat. Without a doubt, I think they're trying to stake that they're probably the best team they put together with Andy Reid under his watch since Belichick and the Patriots. Okay, and so I don't see Chris Jones doing any of those things as far as like slowing down. All right. Now, obviously, he wants to preserve his body, which he should. And this kind of goes into the case I'm going to make about getting somebody beside him as the defensive tackle that's going to be able to help him out, to help in his production, his longevity, all those different things. That way, you don't have to keep taking two double and triple teams all the time. All right. That way, you can free up guys getting one-on-one with, a Menahu, or you get it with Kolopkis, and those guys, and Felix and all the other guys who you're going to have around him. All right. I love the blitzing. The reason the blitz is able to work the way it's able to work because Chris Jones takes two. All right. You can't account and say, hey, I'm going to leave him and go after the blitz guy. You can make him in account if you want to. But now Chris Jones has single guy, guard or somebody, and it's going to be a tougher guy. And he's going to win that every time. So my thing is, if we're deciding to go get a guy, I would say go get somebody beside him as well, okay? So who can complement him. We have the outside pieces, okay? Yep. We built that up, right? The interior is something that we've been kind of playing musical chairs with, right? Hasn't been somebody who's been a staple with Chris Jones. Now, Nandi came in, he ended up getting hurt. He had a pretty decent year last year, okay?
Yeah.
Mike Pennell with his big arm joker, okay? Did a heck of a job. When he came in, he's toward the end of the season, you start seeing him starting to bench press jokers, all right? What you wanted to be able to see. You need a more consistent guy there. Tayshaun Wharton, you need a more consistent guy. He had flashes of greatness, the things that he was doing. That was like, okay, hey, you need to step your game up.
Uh-huh.
But you need a more consistent guy beside Chris Jones that you will just absolutely become more dangerous than what you were. Yeah. To the point where, you get another guy, there's no doubt you're going to be the number one defense in the league, okay? And we should have probably got those accolades all last year that people just didn't recognize how good we were. Just didn't, you won't give it to us. Just didn't want to do it. So.
Yeah, and also too, and we talked about this on the offensive end as far as with the receivers having a veteran presence in there. And I think with 5-year deal, they say it's pretty much a 3-year, $95 million deal, whatever. So 3 years of Chris Jones, 3 years guaranteed with Chris Jones. 5 years if we want to continue this. But you have Chris Jones there, and let's say we draft. And it's a pretty good defensive tackle draft. Let's say in the first or early second we draft a D tackle. Not only do you have a young buck that Chris Jones can groom, but you have a blue chipper that you can have finally a blue chip D tackle next to him that can cause havoc with him. Kind of like the guy that you want us to draft last year, Kobe Turner, who the Rams got and tore up this year next to Aaron Donald. So, I mean, I think to have a young guy to come in this year in the top 2 rounds to have next to him would be unreal.
Oh, man. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. Hopefully that is what's going to happen. And obviously, look, okay, I was playing GM earlier today, all right? I was talking to one of my boys. Me and Barbershop was having a good conversation about a few things, a few scenarios, all right, which was very entertaining to even think about it, okay? And so we were saying, okay, some of these possibilities that could happen, right? Obviously, everybody's playing GM. Some GMs didn't even want Chris Jones, so I'm not even going to give that, in the end. But if there was a pathway, like you said, to get maybe,
Chris Jenkins Jr.
Who's that?
Chris Jenkins Jr., the D tackle.
Chris Jenkins Jr. Okay. There's a couple other guys too, but I was just going to say extra picks that we could possibly get.
All right.
If the whole, if we decide not to keep Sneed. Okay.
Right.
That's the conversation. There's going to be some work that's going on in these next few days that's going to be able to tell the tale about what it is, what we're going to do. Yeah. But I do believe that we have to go and get us a defensive tackle early on in the draft. I do. Has to be three rounds or earlier. Has to be. You have to do that. And there is a lot of good D tackles out there right now. Okay. Yeah. And we can't miss on one. We just can't. We can't do that. All right. And here's not even let's just say you get a guy, if heaven forbid that something happens to Chris Jones, heaven forbid something happens to him, right? You make sure you get a guy that's going to be able to come in and take up the mantle.
Yep.
Somehow, maybe not get the same, but enough of it. All right. And then you can make everybody else around him eat like they still do. Like our guys getting better every year, right?
Yep.
Kalaf is getting better every single year. Okay. I'm looking for Felix to get better this upcoming year. All right. He's got a year on his belt. I'm looking for big things from him this year. Yep. He's going to be able to show it because Charles is going to be on the sideline for a little bit, still with his injury until he gets back. So make sure you have a good mix, somebody inside that you're evaluating that's going to be able to give you pressure, run stopper, high motor, very powerful guy. You got to have that. You have to. And I'm looking at it right now for the guys that's coming out in this draft. There's at least, from what I've seen so far, at least 6 or 7 quality guys, okay? 6 or 7 quality guys, no doubt. That I can say, hey, you can plug this guy in day one. He can learn from Chris Jones. This guy's going to be a terror, all right?
Yep.
So that's the way I'm looking at it right now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.